What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode. We're opening up here another podcast, obviously to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. And of course, I am joined here by my good buddy, Mythic AZ, man. How are you doing today on this Wednesday?
I'm doing pretty good. Middle of the week. Can't complain. Can't complain. How are we feeling?
Yeah, same, right? We made it through the bye week, and now we are, 4 days away from a football game here for the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm not gonna lie to you, yes, we got 4 weeks, and I know sometimes it kind of feels like, oh, let's end the season already. But I'm excited for Cardinal football just in general. Not expecting a win, but just to kind of see if we can build off of that Steelers win. I think that's just kind of something that I'm excited to see. But overall, today, what we're going to dive into, we had a viral video, I guess if you want to call it, amongst the bird gang of the Arizona Cardinal fan base, with Drew Petzing talking about a very hot topic, and obviously that's Kyler Murray. We're going to be diving into that. If we feel like QB1 is going to be a real attainable thing, right? If he's going to be the guy in 2024. And then we'll also kind of dive into, it seems like we're getting help coming back, and that's obviously Michael Wilson. So that's definitely huge here for the Arizona Cardinals. So let's talk about obviously what everybody wants to talk about here, and that is going to be the video here from Drew Petzing on Adam Schefter's podcast. So I'll go ahead and let you speak first and what your thoughts are before we can go ahead and get the audio queued up.
Perfect. So I love that personally, the fact that Drew Petzing came out here and he's done nothing but advocate for Kyler Murray and everything. And although there's a lot of rumors or whatever, and whether it's with Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, like all the top end insiders and everybody, and they're all questioning it and then writing these stories about like, oh, Kyler Murray's not the guy, he's not even going to come back. Like they don't know anything.
Right.
Like they have no clue in the world. Drew Petzing is a guy who's internal. Obviously, they're pretty comfortable with the guy they had. I'm pretty sure that's like his exact words. And he said it multiple times, right? Like Kyler's the guy. He's done things that are like very impressive that it's like obviously like this guy is phenomenal. So I mean, I love the direction we're heading personally, and I think Kyler's a guy, and Drew Petzing doesn't seem to shy away from any questions, and he'll address it right on. So I love it personally.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you guys do not know what we're talking about, this video here was taken from Adam Schefter, one of the biggest NFL insiders out there. He ended up having an interview on his podcast pertaining to asking Drew Petzing about obviously the future of Kyler Murray and how he pretty much feels about it. So let's dive into it.
And Drew, I know it's not your decision, but Arizona has 2 first-round draft picks. A lot of people wondered whether they could eventually pursue a quarterback. But it sounds like in your mind, you know who you'd like your quarterback to be. Am I reading that incorrectly?
No, absolutely. I think, and the goal is always going to be to make the roster better in every way, shape, and form. I think Monty, the scouting staff, the entire department is committed to that goal, but feel really good about where Kyler's at as a franchise quarterback. I mean, he's absolutely that, as you just said. And I think he's done a great job of embracing that role and owning that role and moved into that role as he hit the field here, whatever it was about a month ago. So I've been really pleased with that.
Okay, so that's pretty much exactly what everybody's kind of talking about right now. We had a lot of mixed reactions amongst the fan base. There's some people out there saying, oh, quarterback number 1 for the future. The Cardinals absolutely believe in Kyler Murray. And obviously, it's a good look whenever your coaching staff gives you kudos or gives you high praise. It is a good look because at the end of the day, you're working with those guys, right? But I think it really isn't Drew Petzing's decision, right? At the end of the day, it is going to be Monty Ossenfort, maybe Michael Bidwill, and most likely JG at the end of the day. But JG said nothing but good things as well at the other side of the coin as well. So there's a lot of things stacked up against Kyler Murray, and I think one of the best things about him, in terms of like his comeback, I don't think it's his play. I think it's just his overall persona. I think what he has evolved into, the maturity level, the being able to be more of a leader, right? Not being grumpy cat on the sidelines. That I feel like I got to give kudos to Kyler Murray because he has completely changed night and day. And I don't know if it's because the way things were ran when Cliff Kingsbury was there and just like, no accountability. And maybe Kyler felt like, oh, I can do whatever I want. Who knows, right? But with what we're seeing with this new regime, he's doing everything they're asking him to do. And that's playing under center a lot more. And on top of that, you don't see him being super pouty when things don't go his way. Now, obviously, his emotions, I don't think anybody ever faulted him for his emotions for getting mad. It's a competitive game, but I think that's one thing I'll definitely give him credit for in terms of his maturity level has gotten a lot better. Do you agree with that?
I do. And you can see it too in the way he's handling interviews as well.
Yep.
He's taking accountability. He's not shying away from anything. He's making sure that the blame doesn't get pitted on other people. I've seen other quarterbacks do it too, like Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Zach Wilson used to be really bad with pinning things on other people, right? And this year, I mean, Aaron Rodgers comes over there, and then Zach Wilson is taking accountability or whatever. And people say Aaron Rodgers is a bad guy, but like that's what leadership does, right? Like whether it's Jonathan Gannon, whether it was Nick Rallis or Drew Petzing, like whoever got under his ear, or Monty Osborne, like who knows? Like genuinely, you know what I mean? Like and genuinely, no one knows, but Kyler Murray seems to like understand like this isn't the same regime. It's not like a college or whatever where it's just like you can do whatever. This is the NFL. There's leadership and everything, and I feel like he's learning that. Right? It's year 5, I get it, but I feel like he's genuinely learning that. I feel like he's coming into his sense. He's coming into like a mature part of his life. I mean, he's still young, right?
Yeah,
like he's still young. What is he? 25? Kyler Murray's 26 years old.
26, yeah.
Like he's still young though. Like that's not like super old. He was about to hit like his what people like to say is peak or his prime in like a year. People say 26, 27 is like the prime years or whatever. He's just about to enter that. Obviously coming off a major surgery, but like the way he's handling things from last year to this year are night and day.
9-day different.
So,
I agree. I agree. We got to give kudos to where kudos is doing, and then obviously that's a big thing here from Kyler Murray. And when I did talk about obviously a little earlier, like 2 or 3 minutes ago, I said what impressed me is not so much his play. I want to kind of not so much retract that, but kind of talk a little bit more about it. I've seen flashes from Kyler Murray, whether it was that bomb to Rondale Moore in the Houston game, or even that bomb that was called back to Rondale Moore over Pat P. We've seen flashes of like that is what Kyler Murray was, right? When we were riding high and 7-0, like that's what he was. I guess one of the biggest concerns for obviously Cardinal fans is his durability. What do you think right now? I guess let me ask you this real quick. Do you think it's better for the Cardinals to maybe have him? Obviously, he's going to be playing this game, the 49ers, but do you think they're actually sold on him being in 2024? And if they are, do you think it's worth him playing the rest of the 3 games? Obviously, he's playing this game in the 49ers, but like in terms of like getting him or keeping him safe.
I feel like the evaluation process is done personally.
Okay.
But I mean, at the same time, right? Like people are saying it's not done, and I kind of disagree. But like that's my opinion. I disagree.
That's fair.
But I feel like the evaluation period is over. Like he's gotten over that hump. But I feel like he still does need to play these games, just for other reasons. Just the comfortability, right? New footwork, new everything. He has to get 3-step drop back done. He's playing under center. New scheme, new offensive coordinator, still trying to get timing down on everything. Like you want to get him pretty comfortable within the new everything. He's still learning. Like I don't know why. Like I knew, but I didn't like really process like all. Like I don't even know like all these things that he's gonna have to learn because this is different. He's been taking direct snaps his entire life, playing in shotgun, playing in a spread offense. He used to take the snap and literally just was already dropped back, and literally it was just read a defense. You didn't have to 3-step drop. You didn't have to play action. Like it's new footwork. It's new everything, new progressions, new timing, new just everything. Like the rhythm of everything is completely different. So I think you need to play him, let him ride out these last 4 games. And obviously, like you can't play with concern. You can't put him out there with concern. You can't sit there and be like, oh, well, if he gets hurt, but it's like, okay, but if he doesn't and he gets better, then we're also winning. So you kind of just got to go out there and let him do his thing. And obviously that's going to be a factor. I mean, you're playing football.
Yeah,
you play football in general. The risk for injury is pretty high. It's a freak sport. Anything can happen at any time. You can't play with concern. You got to play with the idea of getting better. And you just got to let him go out there and you got to let him hoop. You got to let him go crazy. You just got to let him figure everything out by himself. And there's no talent right there on offense like that. Hollywood Brown, I haven't really heard anything about him, but he's been hurt. Michael Wilson's been hurt. Greg Dortch and Rondell Moore are his outside receivers.
Oof. Yeah, no, that's true.
That's rough.
I did hear that Marquise Hollywood Brown is not in practice today. And that's a concern, man. Like, especially because like his contract year is going to be coming up here pretty soon. Like, this is the contract year, or not? This is his contract year. Like, I mean, he's fighting for some sort of extension. Like, is he staying with the Cardinals or not? Like, truly, if Marquise Hollywood Brown was not buddy or like, said to be best friends or really good friends with Kyler Murray, coming into the draft, I would say just, let him walk. But like, there's also that level of maybe the Cardinals do want to keep them together, right? Maybe they are comfortable together. Maybe there is still something that could be unlocked in this offense that he's not able to do because of the injury. But like, it's just been plaguing him so much that it's like, we don't see him on the field. We have some Cardinal fans that just don't want to see him back anymore, just because he's not healthy at all. Ever. It almost kind of feels like this year.
That's what's tough. But like, my thing with him is what we saw in the beginning of the season where he was getting all this separation or whatever with Josh Dobbs, and Josh Dobbs was just missing him. Yeah. And like, Josh Dobbs could not hit anything. Yeah. Like, Marquise Hollywood Brown would be wide open and you just couldn't get him the ball. And we were like, damn, like you just got to put one on the money for him, right? Like, he got robbed of like 300 yards, it felt like, and like 3 touchdowns, like legitimately 3 touchdowns, like for sure 3 touchdowns at the minimum. And there could have been more, because how many plays could he have made that where he just takes it like 60 yards or whatever, just because he's fast and shifty and makes people miss, right? Like, he never had the opportunity to really do that.
Right.
And Kyler Murray coming back too, his first game back, he missed him on a ball too. So, like, if you look at the tape and the film, like, I feel like in the like back end of the first season or the first half of the season, it shows you that he's worth bringing back at like 14 to 18 million, somewhere around there. But then the injury concerns come in and you're like, okay, are you going to be durable for the entire next season? Or are you going to come drop out? Like, obviously he doesn't want to be hurt. Hollywood Brown wants to play, but injury concerns have been something since college, right? And obviously college, he doesn't really have, was it Lisofrenic that he had or something? I don't remember exactly what it was, but Hollywood Brown has always been hurt since college. So it's tough.
Well, especially because he's not a big guy either. Like, when you look at him, he's not a big guy at all. Slender, obviously not over 6 foot, and it's just the durability issues are a big concern for Cardinals, where at least the organization should really be focusing on it as well. I'm not in a level of, I know we got 4 games left. I know the offseason is just around the corner. I'm not comfortable with the Cardinals signing him for a multi-year deal. If they want to do some sort of franchise tag, but even that's expensive. Mythic, like, we're talking about 19 mil, or at least per Google, right? The average of a franchise tag for a wide receiver, we're talking about like 19.7 mil. If you want to do a transition tag, it's averaging about 17.9 mil. So like, we're still talking about, upper teens in the mills, but we're going to have money to spend. But like, granted, it's 1 year. Like, are the Cardinals willing to say, okay, we're going to give you one more chance, please stay healthy? Or would you rather allocate that money, like we talked about, a couple podcasts ago? Would you rather allocate that money to maybe a Michael Pittman, a T. Higgins, somebody like that can be that big bodied guy? So like, I want Marquise to work because I know deep down I still want to see this work, and it's because of the Marquise Hollywood Brown and Kyler Murray connection, because they're buddies, because I want to see Jamar Chase and I want to see Joe Burrow. That's what I want to see. But like, if this man can't stay healthy, I don't know if I'm comfortable with the Cardinals doing that. Obviously it's not my money, but if I was Monty, I would definitely rethink what I would do with Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, it's tough though, because I don't know if we'll ever see that Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow out of them. I know. It's a different connection for multiple reasons. Because, I mean, Jamar Chase is just super impressive in every aspect, right? The separation, the body control, just like everything that he brings to the game. Just Jamar Chase is just such a different receiver.
He's a number 1 wide receiver. No doubt.
For sure.
No doubt. Number 1
doubt
wide
in your
receiver.
mind.
Yeah.
I mean, you just know when prospects come, right? You're just like, there's at least one prospect that you're just able to, like, there's no doubt in my mind. And I've had that with a couple people recently. Like, Patrick Surtain was one of them. Derek Stingley was another one for me. Joe Burrow, Hollywood Brown. Like, you just have or not Hollywood Brown, sorry, Jamar Chase. Like, you just have these players that you're just like, yeah, that's that guy. Justin Jefferson was the same to me. I was so confused watching him drop on the board. Justin Jefferson at LSU is ridiculous. And you can just, the numbers he was putting up, it's like, wow, crazy. And then you have like, who was it? Was it Nelson Aguilar? Or who was taken right before? It wasn't Nelson Aguilar. I'm tripping. He ended up on the same team.
I know. That's what I was going to say. It was the same team. I can't think of.
He wore number 5. Jalen Rieger.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen Rieger.
Philly, right?
Yeah, it was Jalen Rieger. He came over to whatever, and I'm pretty sure they cut him again. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that it's crazy. Like DK Metcalf falling too was insane over his cone drill time or whatever it was. And they're like, oh, we might not be able to move laterally. He can move vertically pretty well. I mean, big body receiver can catch the ball pretty well. I mean, I don't know. So I feel like there's prospects like that, and there's going to be some in this draft too. I just need to really deep dive. And if Hollywood's not that guy, I mean, we have a ton of picks to allocate, right? And that saves money. And it's a business at the end of the day. That's something I've said too. It's a business. It would suck on a personal level for Kyler to lose one of your best friends and someone that you've dated back to college and been really close with. Like, you date back to college, you played football in college, it might have even gone beyond college. I'm not 100% sure, but I just know for a fact it was in college that they were friends.
Right.
So it's tough situation, but obviously you can't factor in everything, right? It's a business. If he's not the guy, he's not the guy. You don't re-sign him. You don't allocate $14 million if you don't believe it. But I mean, they said they're more positive trending towards a contract, which who knows? I mean, no one knows.
True. All right, let's shift over here real quick. We got some good news. Finally, Michael Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, he is now starting to practice, and I believe this is actually his second day practicing here with the Arizona Cardinals, and this is huge. Like, this is big, and it's crazy because he's a rookie wide receiver, but like, we need height in the outside, and Michael Wilson delivers that. Right, we got it in the middle. Well, we got Trey McBride. We like what we've seen from Trey McBride, especially for the future. But like, having him back, do you think it totally changes this offense with having a big wide receiver out there, or do you just think that like he's not going to make any impact in this game, or just on the offense in general?
It definitely makes an impact for sure, no doubt in my mind. You get one big body receiver on this team, and Kyler Murray is going to be able to thread that thing. Obviously, Michael Wilson's had a good amount of time off too, so hopefully he's fully healthy and like actually can come out here and be productive. And it's not one of those things where he's rushing back just to get on the field. But if he's able to play, man, is having a 6'3" receiver going to help? Trey McBride is the only like big body, technically receiver that we have on this team, and he's looking phenomenal. Kyler Murray's looking for him. He's not scared to throw these one-on-one jump balls, these contested catches. Like, Kyler Murray's never been shy to throw a one-on-one.
Yeah. Even
with Hollywood Brown, he's not scared to throw a one-on-one, right? Like, if he feels like you have the advantage in a matchup, he's going to throw it. Like, go make the play. You're 6'3". I'm going to put it in position for you to go make a play. Like DeAndre Hopkins, there's a reason him and D-Hop were the way they were. People say, oh, Kyler relies on him. Of course he's going to rely on him. He's one of the best receivers of all time. Why would he not?
Yeah.
Right? If you have someone who can literally just big body and you can trust him to make a contested catch, right? Like, there's one against Green Bay where like this is it, like DeAndre Hopkins was so special, man. I wish we really could have made things work here. And Kyler Murray going down with an injury, obviously, I feel like was one of the biggest factors of DeAndre Hopkins leaving as well, because you don't want to waste his prime technically.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So I don't blame DeAndre Hopkins for leaving whatsoever.
I don't either. I mean, we all knew deep down that this year was going to be brutal.
Yeah.
and as it is, right? It's shaking out to be brutal. I mean, we got 4 games, and I know there's some very positive, optimistic fans out there saying we're going to go on a 4-game winning streak. There's some people out there, believe it or not. But I think we might finish off with 4 wins if we're lucky. But like, this stretch is tough, man. Like, and I'm not saying we're not going to put an effort. We're not going to like put. Anytime Kyler Murray's on the field, he's going to want to win a game, right? Yeah. He said it himself. He's not going to come out here to try to get the top pick because it's going to benefit him. No, I mean, this is his job. This is his duty. This is Jonathan Gannon's job. This is his duty to come out here and put a good product on the field, regardless of how people feel. So I'm excited still about watching these next 4 games. Am I worried? Yeah, I'm a little worried. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm a Cardinal fan. We're kind of used to it at this very moment. But we also got to take into consideration that Michael Wilson hasn't been available for Kyler Murray like in 3 of the 4 games. He was only there in the Atlanta Falcons game. I mean, in that one, he had 6 targets, 3 receptions, 34 yards. So like, not too big of an impact, but like 6 targets is still pretty decent.
That's not bad. I mean, he was hurt too. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
the first game
playing.
back. That's Kyler Murray's first game back.
Yeah. So I mean, there's no. What's tough too is there's no like connection, no chemistry with anybody, and he's been developing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough. I mean, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. It's gonna take some time. There's gonna be some rough patches. At least it won't be with Josh Dobbs, right? Where I'm assuming he's not going to get targeted. I'm sure Michael Wilson's going to get some targets at some point, and it's not going to be like, damn. I mean, he just had a good game last week. Where'd he go? I mean, Trey McBride has looked pretty damn good with Kyler coming back, and it's been consistently good.
The crazy thing is that, like, with Josh Dobbs, Michael Wilson had his best game against the 49ers. With Josh Dobbs, it was 7 targets, 7 receptions, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns. Remember that game where he was like, oh, he was doing really good stuff. So I mean, I hope that can translate.
Yeah, I really hope so. Right. It seems like the 49ers really just don't have a weakness. I'd say their corners are probably like the worst part about them. And it's like, is it really the worst? Yeah. I don't know. Do we have the receivers to torch them? Probably not, right? Like if Hollywood's a no-go, Michael Wilson being the number 1 is tough.
It is. I mean, if Hollywood doesn't go again, man, like it's going to be more. Hollywood's been on the injury report a lot, and for the most part, he's been playing, right? Even on the injury report or not. Now he didn't finish. I don't think he finished the Steelers game, but he's been in the injury report almost kind of feels like all freaking year.
Yeah.
But like if he doesn't go, it's only gonna hurt him. Obviously, like don't force it, right? At the end of the day, you got to protect yourself, and you still have a career in the NFL. But like it's only gonna hurt him in the end of the day, I think. Like in terms of like contract extension, unless the Cardinals are fully like already bought into the idea of bringing him back. But we'll have to kind of wait and see. If he doesn't go though, like who do you think is going to be the wide receiver that's going to step up? Like either Dortch or Moore. Who do you like more, Dortch or Moore? Be honest.
That is a tough one.
It is tough.
It's crazy that this is a convo because Rondale Moore is a 2nd-round pick, dog. I might say Greg Dortch.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
As a receiver, Greg Dortch.
That's what I'm saying. It's wild. And it's crazy because I remember last year, I got so much flack. Because I remember saying this on Twitter. Greg Dortch, greater than Rondale Moore. And they're like, oh, give him an opportunity. All you are is a negative Nancy. And look, right? In the beginning of the season, I was like, well, we're not seeing Greg Dortch because maybe there's just no opportunity, right? It's a different scheme. Maybe it doesn't fit his skill set. I'm wrong. He fits wherever his opportunity is. Like if you give him an opportunity, he's going to come out here and ball. Like it's crazy to know that probably the smallest wide receiver is going to be the one that has a dog in him, right? The one that has a dog in him. And that's what Greg Dortch is, man. He's a guy hasn't really gotten much of an opportunity, but fights for his opportunities and crawls and scratch to get onto the field. So if you're going to ask me, who would I take? I would take Greg Dortch too. Like if it came down to it and we have to, pay one of them, like let's say, for example, this is going to be Rondale Moore's contract year. I wouldn't pay Rondale Moore. I would say Greg Dortch, I'm bringing you back for 1 year deal or whatever. I don't know, man. I'm just not, I like what Rondale Moore has done for the little flashes that he gives us, but like, I don't know. The consistency is not there for me.
You know who he reminds me of? Like, obviously, way different player, but like, just in terms of like getting an opportunity and like coming in here and making plays, and then people wondering where he goes and like why he's not playing.
Who?
He reminds me of Trent Sherfield.
Ah.
Just in terms, like, obviously, way different player.
Right.
Way different player. But just in terms of like when he has the opportunity, he comes in and he makes impactful plays, and you're like, wow. Who is that? And it's like, oh, it's Trent Sherfield. Like, wow. I feel like whenever he's in the game, he's like doing something productive. Larry Fitzgerald speak pretty highly of Trent Sherfield too. Good player. Just never really panned out, right? And I mean, he had a good game, I believe, in San Fran. But I mean, like, I feel like when Trent Sherfield had opportunity, he did pretty well. Same thing with Greg Dortch. I feel like Kyler Murray likes Greg Dortch too.
I agree.
I just feel like he likes him. I feel like he targets him way more than Rondale Moore. I don't know. I just like Whether it hasn't clicked or it's just Rondo Moore is just not him, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's just something doesn't seem right when Rondo Moore is on the field as a receiver. Kind of sucks because he has every asset to be good. Every asset to be good.
Yeah.
And you see those plays here and there where it's like, there we go. Like take the top off against the Houston Texans. Great play. And then he just disappeared for the rest of the game. And it sucks because he has every tool to be good. Strong player, right? Like super strong for his size.
Yeah.
Super fast. Just not consistent. Not consistent at all.
I mean, what's not right is his stats on the season. Let me tell you that right now.
Exactly.
29 receptions, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. And that was that bomb with Kyler. That's how he got that touchdown in the Houston game. And then Greg Dortch over here, when getting the opportunity, 11 receptions, 124 yards, 1 touchdown. But like the thing is that with Greg Dortch, like he's not really gotten very many opportunity until recently. Like let's be honest, in the beginning of the season, we didn't really see him very much. A lot of people asked, and I'm like, I don't know. That's a good question. Why isn't he out there? I mean, I don't know. And that's why I was like, well, maybe just the system doesn't fit him. I don't know. Maybe just opportunity isn't there because when you're obviously coming out with a different formation, you're not going 5 wide. It's less wide receivers on the field, right? So less opportunity for him. But like now we're kind of starting to see a little bit of a shift, and we're starting to kind of see him come back. But like, I don't know, man. I did always like Greg Dortch. It's just why he's not getting more opportunity is really weird to me.
It is. I mean, it's like teeter-tottering between because they're like obviously nothing more than a wide receiver. 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Probably 4.
I mean, that's what we got though. That's all we got right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and right now it's like Greg Dortch is running wide receiver 1 sometimes. So
yeah.
You just got to rock with what you got. And I feel like between Kyler choosing Rondale and Greg Dortch, it's Greg Dortch every time.
Well, let me say this real quick. So yes, I'm looking at the snap counts right now. He wasn't on the field at all for like the first 8 weeks. Like week 6, he was there, but like I kid you not, the last 3 weeks, Greg Dortch has out-snapped Rondo Moore, and I mean, but by a percentage or 2. So we're talking about probably like about a play or 2, something like that. Like so, Greg Dortch is getting more snaps.
That's good. I feel like we like that. No complaints. No complaints.
I'm not mad at it. We'll see what he does. We got 4 games here to finish off the season. A tough stretch coming our way. The 49ers, the Bears, the Eagles. And then we're going to finish it off here with the Seattle Seahawks. Just for obviously the sake of time, we're going to be closing up shop here pretty soon. But give me your prediction. We got 4 games left. What do you think we're going to do? You're going to do? You think we're going to go 4-0, 3-1, 1-3? What are your thoughts?
I'm going to say 1-3.
1-3.
I want to be optimistic because I can see anything. Honestly, I can see 0-4. I can't see 2. I can't see 2 wins. I could see 2 actually. It'd just be Seattle and Chicago. I could see 2, but I'm going to say we win either one of the Chicago or Seattle games. I'm not sure. I feel like we're going to close it off. I feel like, I don't know, that Seattle game just seems like a win. I feel like we can go 0-3, and then the Seattle game, we're just going to break the hearts in a game that matters for Seattle.
If we can like prevent them from going into the playoffs, that would be wonderful.
Fantastic. I feel like that's what's going to happen. I feel like it's going to be a game that matters so much. I don't know. The NFC is crazy. That's what I'm saying. The Cardinals could be in such a position right now. We could have just won like 2 games.
I made a video yesterday. Dude, we have some people in the hunt right now that are 6-7, and they're in the hunt.
We could have
They're in the hunt.
5 wins.
That's telling you. And there's 4 games left. And that means that if the Cardinals were 2-2, like let's say we did finish off 2-2, but like Dobbs can actually, get his actual wins, we might be talking about a different season because this NFC is garbage. It's all the talent is in the AFC, and I mean the juggernauts are in the AFC. The NFC, we're very top heavy, like
Dallas, very Philadelphia, San Fran.
That's it. That's it. Everybody else is The NFC, what is it? South? The NFC South. That's a toss-up, bro. Like all those teams are terrible. They're all terrible, but somebody can probably go in with like 6 wins or 7 wins.
They're so bad. They're gonna be a number 4 seed at like 7 wins. It's so gross.
I'm
It's
telling
so
you.
gross.
This probably would be a perfect opportunity for the Cardinals to make some sort of noise. But like right now we're at 3 wins. If we do go on a 4-game winning streak, which I don't think it's gonna happen, and I'm
It's
being
still not
very
possible.
I
don't
mean
think
anything's
so.
possible, right? But like that puts us at 7 wins. Right now we have 4 teams in the hunt at 6 wins. What the hell?
I think even if we win out, like there's a chance we can't even make it. I think it's just if
Yeah.
someone wins. It sucks.
Yeah. Somebody
Josh
in the chat
Dobbs
says, wait, are you guys putting this all on Dobbs? I don't know. We're not putting it all on Dobbs, but like
80% of it on him.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
putting more than 80%.
Here's the problem with the way I feel. We've talked about this many times. We liked what Dobbs has done for us. We like the storyline, but in the bottom line, he wasn't able to make those 1 or 2, 3 crucial plays to make us win a game. Or even that, like just how lethargic the offense looked in the second half. We talked about this verbatim and how bad this offense looked. And yeah, obviously with Kyler Murray coming back in the first couple of weeks, it kind of still transition. And I'm not gonna say it's all on Dobbs, but like, yeah, it's you're a quarterback. You got the ball in your hand all the time. You got to win those games. And we had 2 very winnable games. The Giants, which don't look very good. And like, yeah, they have a thing going on with Tommy DeVito, and good for him. But like the Commanders game, we probably could have won both of those games. We could have started off probably 3-0 and shocking the Cowboys. But like, we're here. We're here.
This is an NFL quarterback we're talking about. And in 13 games, you want to take a guess on how many passing touchdowns he has?
Who?
Josh Dobbs. 13
No,
games.
how many?
8. 8. And this is the people 13 games, by the way. This is his Minnesota tenure too.
That's crazy.
8.
That's crazy. It was all rushing, right?
He looks horrible in Minnesota. He got benched for freaking Nick Mullins.
Nick
Mullins. This is the guy who people were saying was better than Kyler Murray. He just got benched for freaking Nick Mullins, dude. Threw 4 interceptions against Chicago. Just put up. It was a 3-0 game against the Raiders.
I know what you're talking. That's crazy.
The Raiders. You're the freaking Raiders. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Like the amount of times Josh Dobbs has over or under a 60 QBR this season is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times under freaking 60. Under 58 for a matter of fact. It's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross. And his last couple of games, like I can't emphasize it enough, were freaking garbage. That little Cincinnati to Seattle stretch was horrible. 46 completion percent, 51, 57, 146 yards, 235, 166, 2 total touchdowns, 3 total interceptions. I'm not even sure about the fumbles. Like his play on the field was just abysmal, and people just don't want to admit it for whatever reason. Like I'm not one to shy away. Like I don't necessarily agree with trading him away. I think as a backup quarterback,
right? I agree. Yeah,
but like the bench was looking mighty fine for him. Like let me tell you, like just see what you have in Clayton Tune. The bench is looking mighty fine. I hate even touching on this because he's not even on the team anymore, and people think I just like despise the man. Like no, it's just like when you play like that, it just you become predictable, and it's just like you're not gonna win. And
it's not sustainable.
You exactly like you know his ceiling, and I've been saying it, and it's so nice when it just comes and it's right, and we're right about it, and it's like this is what we said. Like, I mean, writing's on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. I think people think that like we just bag on him, and that's not the case. We've said multiple highlighted things and positive things about Josh Dobbs and what he's done, but nobody focuses on that. People focus on the 5 minutes or 3 minutes of the negative stuff that we have to say. But in the grand scheme of things, this is Kyler Murray's team. It's always been Kyler Murray's team, and he was just the benchmark. He was a guy waiting. Now should they have traded for him? I don't know. I mean, whatever it is, what it is. They decided they thought he was going to win us more games. Then okay, that was the decision that they made. I know I see somebody here in the comments. My guy Day is saying that Clayton Tune was robbed of his opportunity. Yeah, I mean, he probably was, right? I mean, but these are the decisions that are being made by obviously the coaching staff and Monty, and they all came to a collective decision, and this is what they wanted to go with, and it is what it is. We're a 3-win team at the end of the day. We got 4 games left. let's see if the Cardinals can finish strong. And to me, finishing strong is being competitive. That's what finishing strong is to me. It's not wins. It's being competitive. Can we stay in these games and be competitive with our franchise quarterback? And we'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely. I also do agree with Deus. I feel like Clayton Tune was so robbed. Like,
He was.
just like, because when you play so bad, I think I was calling for it after the Rams game. And then he ended up playing Seattle, and then he played Baltimore. So, like, at the minimum, I feel like Clayton Tune should have been played 3 games, right? Because
I agree.
how often is your franchise quarterback going to go down with a major injury, and there's literally like no way it comes back, and you're just so solidified on having whatever, right? Like, we could have easily let this guy get confidence, build it up, be the backup quarterback. Like, long term, this could have been a backup guy for us, but instead, when you don't know what the heck he has, right? And you rattled his confidence completely, putting him in a game of the Cleveland Browns and one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. And you're just like throwing him into the fire. Like, hey, your first game, good luck.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett's right there. Have fun. Right? Like, thank God he's got the tune pushes, right? Where I feel like his confidence is going up a little bit. Yeah, shout out Robert. I feel like the confidence is going up a little bit due to those, but like outside of that, like that would rattle you, right? That would shake you a little bit, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I mean, you can't say Kyler's not a franchise quarterback, man. I mean, we could be 3-1, right? You're telling me if Kyler's comfortable in this system, we're not beating the crap out of Houston and comfortable with footwork and everything. We're slamming the dog piss out of Houston that game.
And I think that what kind of gets my head to scratch. But you know, I think I do gotta take a step back because yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, right, we've heard Drew Petzing, we've heard Kyler Murray say that, yeah, it's obviously it's not so much that there's a new offense. He needs to redirect everything that he's used to, right? Since he's been in high school playing football, like everything has changed. His mind is already molded to play in the shotgun. What they're asking him to do is something completely different. It almost kind of feels like, to me, I guess the best way I can kind of relate it is if you're right-handed, try to write with your left hand, right? Now, I get it. That's actually probably harder to do maybe, but like people could do it if they put their mind to it, right? And that's what Kyler Murray has to kind of obviously learn. And it's a hump. It's a hump that he has to get over. And obviously footwork is a major thing that was talked about in these last couple of weeks that, you know, he's getting better. And honestly, with what we've seen in the Steelers game, I don't think Kyler Murray had the best game, but like he kind of didn't need to. James Conner was the show, you know,
bad weather conditions.
Yeah. And that's something I love. I love the fact that we're not throwing Kyler and being like, save us, you know, give us, you know, put your body, heart and soul every single, because I don't feel like that's sustainable. If it has to be a run game, then good. Right. Because we're not sitting out here and saying Brock Purdy is an elite quarterback because like he's winning all the games himself. No, Brock Purdy is, I guess if you want to call him elite or great or good, whatever you want to call him, but he does what he needs for his team to win, whether it's, you know, passing the ball to Ayuk, passing the ball to Kittle, passing or the passing game or the run game. And that's kind of what I want Kyler to be as well. Obviously, we do want that superstar level where he uses his legs and gets so many rushing touchdowns. That's great too. But like, we can't put it all on him to say save the day. And I feel like that's what the Cliff Kingsbury regime was. Just throw him out there. He's got the talent. Let him win this game in the season for us. And now that we're kind of starting to solidify a different type of offense, I think it kind of helps them out a lot more.
I agree. And someone who I really like, not a lot of people like him, and you know, I'm all for controversy, but Aaron Rodgers, man, like I love Aaron Rodgers and everything that he's like, even coming out and talking about Zach Wilson. Like I love it personally. I feel like he's kind of sparking new life into Zach Wilson. Personally, I feel like it's tough because that offense really, like Aaron Rodgers would make it function. A lot of other quarterbacks aren't going to make it function, right? And Zach Wilson's been through a lot. Like he's never had a solid foundation. Yeah. He's transitioned through like 5 offensive coordinators in like 5 years.
Yeah.
His head coach, Adam Gase, was a complete dip shit. Like, I mean, you just are going through everything, right? And it's tough when people really don't get to develop properly.
Well, Josh Rosen didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like when people really don't, but I feel like Zach Wilson actually has talent, like legitimate talent, and you just got to put it like that's what if he could have sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 1 or 2 years, and then took because he looks better. Zach Wilson, he doesn't look fantastic, but he looks better. And he's had spurts where it's just absolutely awful. But I mean, he looks better. You just got to let the kid develop. And he's still young. Like, people look at it like, oh, 25, that's just trash now.
Yeah.
Like, back then, people would be like, okay, you have 4, 5, 6 years to develop. And then it's like, oh, wow, look, he's coming into his own. He's actually a man now. He's not the 21-year-old kid who came in here trying to save the franchise. Wow, look at him go. Look at him go.
Now.
It's completely different. People are like, wow, you suck in 2 years. Get the heck out of here. You got the new kid. Oh, my gosh, he sucks too. Wow, okay, let's just – the next one. Wow, we can never land stability. I wonder why. Yeah. Like, where's the stability here?
Yeah.
Like, where could it have gone? Well, maybe if you gave the kid a chance. And then I hate when people succeed other places too. And it's like, why didn't he do that here? Bro. Like Hassan Reddick. I loved him, but he left. And it's like, why didn't he succeed? Because first of all, we played him out of position, played him in position for 1 year. And I mean, he finally came into his own. And then we're just like, okay, we declined your 5th-year option. We don't even want you anyways. Get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the time, let's call it like it is. The Cardinals organization does not make the right decisions a lot of the times. Let's call it like it is. Like, we've said that multiple times, and it's crazy to me that, like, we have fans being like, well, why are you so negative? It's not being negative. It's you're pointing out the flaws in terms of why this Arizona Cardinal organization is not as, I guess, relevant or as consistent or sustainable as you would want your fan base or not fan base, I'm sorry, your organization to be. The decisions that are made, like a Andy Isabella over DK Metcalf, right? Or getting, trading away your first round pick for Marquise Hollywood Brown and not getting yourself a center, or not getting a center after Rodney Hudson, not preparing after Carson Palmer, right? Like, those are the type of things that good organizations do, right? You got to prepare for 2 or 3 years down in advance. Now, yes, granted, they thought they had it in Josh Rosen and it didn't work out. But that's the type of stuff that it's unfortunate, but like, I'm not saying I get a lot of things right, but I was talking about Rondale Moore last year. And now people starting to see it. I was talking about Cliff Kingsbury a year before. Now people starting to see it. It's just, you kind of know if they are it or if you're not it, right? And I don't know, man. It sucks because Calais Campbell still hurts to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wanted Calais Campbell to stay a Cardinal, and the Cardinals refused to pay him. They refused to pay him.
Shoot, like, just when you just watch so much talent walk out of the door, like Tyrann Mathieu, man.
Tyrann Mathieu.
I can't get over Tyrann Mathieu. Just the way the Pat P situation was handled, I hate it. And then the fact the PED thing came out, and it's just like, it hurt himself too. And I was just like, man, like, it's just, you burn these bridges, right? Like, the Tyrann Mathieu situation probably hurts the most to me.
Well, also, think about your think about our franchise quarterback now, Kyler Murray, with that whole homework addendum. Where do you think that came from? Where do you think that came from? Cliff Kingsbury or Steve Keim? So, like, this automatically puts a bad taste in the mouth of the relationship. You have to have a good relationship. And I think that's what people don't really get. Like, at the end of the day, they're people, right? Like, it's really hard for anybody in that locker room to say anything negative about somebody because they're with them. They're with them day in and day out, right? They fight, for each other, right? Every Sunday, Thursdays, and Mondays. And that's the thing. Like, if you have somebody that kind of threw you under the bus and made this whole big spectacle, regardless if it was true, handle it differently. Don't let that leak out that Kyler Murray has a homework addendum, because now the jokes are out there. Now his name has been stained. Now, if that's the truth, handle it internally. Don't let that kind of stuff leak out. And of course, the Cardinals are the Cardinals, and they let it leak out, and it was a bigger deal than it was. But it's unfortunate. It really is. But 4 games left in the 2023 season. We'll have to kind of wait and see how this all shakes out. We're going to be closing up shop here. We're going to hit the 45-minute mark. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you guys haven't already smacked the like button, definitely do me that huge favor. Smack it up. If this is your first time here, subscribe. This is the time where me and Mythic chop it up about our favorite team. I know there's a lot of sadness, but this is going to be basically our schedule moving forward, and also continuing into the off season as well, because our off season is going to be absolutely wild. So definitely go ahead and make sure you screenshot this, take a picture of it, and obviously send it to your grandma, your cousin, your second cousin, anybody that likes Cardinals. And you can take us on the road as well on Apple Podcasts, because we are streaming on there as well. Anything else before we let the people go?
Man, just smack that subscribe button, like it up, man. And if you guys enjoy it, man, we'll be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m., Wednesday, 12 p.m., as you guys saw in the graphic. But I think that's about everything, man.
All right. Perfect. All right, let's close up shop. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cards.